This fire's right up. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Daily Misfire, and hope you're having a good day so far. We are, as of today, 15 days away from Six Smokies 2025, which, if you don't know what that is a drag and drive event where you drive your car from track to track over a course of however many days the event is. And this one is put on by Sick the Mag, which is the preemptive drag and drive gods, as you would, of, you know, the big stuff. There's 1320 Hot Rod Magazine and Sick the Mag. Sick the Mag is literally made because of drag and drive events, if you don't know who they are. And first off, I want to say, if you're watching this, go check out our website real quick and go pick up your own shirt, because we got our Six Smokies road trip shirts going on right now. So go check those out. Any money you put towards those goes back into cars and gas and hotels and food. So if you want me eating more than crackers, go buy a shirt, please. Thank you. With that being said, now that I got that out of the way, we have a few things we need to try to get done on my Nova before we actually are able to go. If you didn't watch our last video, we had a lot of stuff that we had to do, and we are very close. The car runs, it drives. We currently do not have first gear. The fuel gauge doesn't work. It does not have passenger side seat belts yet. They're sitting in that box right there. And the heater core is awesome. So if you watch me swap out the heater core, it works. It works great. It works too well. In fact, Novas have it. So a Novaism, these heater cores and the heater boxes, they always blow a little bit of air. That's just what they do. They blow air. And if they're wore out, the seals and stuff, because the doors just don't close like they should, because, you know, they're a cheap Econo box car. These were basically a Camry back in the 60s is what these were. These were the Corolla, the Camry, the Malibu. That's what these were. Just a good family car. You got a two-door. It's your car. And so they are cheap when it comes to that. And so if the seals wear out, the gaskets, the rubber stuff in there wear out, air just blows through constantly, and it sucks. And you know, you start sweating your butt off when it's 70 degrees outside, because there's just like 90 degree, 100 degree air just blowing on your feet, which is awesome. So I got to pull the heater core back out and put seals in it, and hopefully that fixes it to where I don't have that issue, because I really don't want to be having hot air blown on my feet at all times when I drive the car, especially in June, July, August. I know it's going into fall right now, but I drive the car the most in the summer, and if it's hot, it sucks. So we got to get that swapped over. Right now, I'm not going to start the car, but you can... The car idles extremely low for some reason, and I think it's probably the IAC on the FI Tech itself, which I'm not totally surprised. So it's down below everything, so it gets all the fuel, it gets stuff on it, it can get crap on it, and they can go out. And that one is 5 years old at this point. There's a bird in here. Hi, bird. Bye, bird. But yeah, it's like 5 years old at this point, and so I'm probably going to change that out, which thankfully it's an F-body Camaro. I think it's like a 4th gen, like 90, it's like a 95 to 99, I think is the era of that sender or IAC motor. So I need to buy one of those, put that in. That should fix that. Then I'll get a tune on it, and that should be really good. That's one big thing. The heater core sucks. I need to fix that. The shifter sucks, because obviously I'd like to be able to shift first, especially in 8th mile racing, where I'm probably only shifting once or twice maybe. And then the third thing is the fuel gauge. You can see there's a lot of wiring stuff in the car. There's an extra fuel gauge sitting right there. We got to get... That's an old one that I have that came actually when I bought that rally clock for the car. I bought just an entire gauge cluster, and it came with that guy. So we got to check out that fuel gauge, trying to see what's going on, because there's 10 gallons in the fuel tank right now. When I went to the gas station, I left the key on just to be able to watch it, and that gas gauge did not move an inch. So we have the wiring apart right now for it. I got to try to figure that out and do some other stuff. So we got to try to diagnose that, figure that out. Like I said, there's seat belts right there. We got to get those in. And then once we can do all that, we should be good to rock and roll. But with that being said, I also want to get into this real quick. We're going to try this. I've never done this before in my entire life, and we're going to try it right now. I am going to try this, attempt. We're going to attempt this. Do or do not, there is no try, so I'm going to attempt. I have every intention of doing it, but in case it doesn't happen, there's my out right now. I want to post every 1 to 2 days, so you're going to see a lot of videos like this where I give you an update. We can do a few little quick shots here and there of everything that we're doing. But with 6 Smokies coming up next week, or in a couple weeks, I'm going to start in the month of October trying to post every day or close to every day. So either every day or every 2 or 3 days, I'm going to try to make a video, like a full-length video like this. Hopefully it'll give you guys more just of what's going on, more depth of everything. And then on top of that, when we go on 6 Smokies, hopefully it gives me a little bit of a warm-up for editing and stuff like that. So then when I'm editing all that video of getting ready for the racetrack, going to race, doing stuff like that during the event, I can post the stuff the next day and you'll be able to keep up with us every day. So that way, kind of like how Cletus does, kind of like how 1320 does, you'll get to see every single day we race. You'll get to stay up to date with us, and that way it's more current. And I'm not posting 3 weeks later. Oh, hey, look, day 4 of 6 Smokies, and you're like, I don't care, dude. It's over. It's been a month, which I get. I understand. I'm that way too. So with that being said, I'm gonna crash into this real quick. Hold me to it. I want you guys to hold me to it. But also, I think it should be cool and give a little bit more depth of everything, like I said. So, without further ado, let's get those belts in. I'm going to pull the heater core, put those belts in. We're going to diagnose that thing, and we'll go from there. Ready, and go. That's pretty... That's not helpful. Okay, well, a link has been made, but cooler lines are off. The heater core is actually unbolted right now, so now I gotta go inside and unbolt everything I did like last week and get it out. Then hopefully we can figure out why it's leaking. Yeah, it's always something. And then hopefully when my dad gets back, he'll be able to diagnose why the fuel gauge is not working for some reason. Which, note that the fuel gauge, ever since I did the automotive tank in this car, has never actually worked the way it should. It's always worked in that you could... getting cups. It's always worked in that you could tell when you're out of gas. However, it changed from working properly to the thing switching sides and empty, like stone cold empty was actually full. And 3/4 tank was actually like stone cold empty, like you were just like out of gas. There's no gas in the car. I only ran out of gas once with it being like that. But yeah, so it's one of those weird things. I don't know why. Aeromotive was like, that's weird. It should not ever, that's not, like, doesn't make any sense. Put a ground on it, see if that fixes it. I did. Didn't do anything. So, here we are. Maybe it was the gauge all along being goofy, and it was just on its way out, and now it's out. Alright, well, as you can see, the heater core is totally blown apart. There's the fan box part, there's that part, and like I was saying, see how there's supposed to be foam? And there really isn't, like anywhere? Yeah, it's that I need to replace, so. That guy, that stuff. I have like door insulation, that should be okay. That'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Alright, well, the last hour has been very, very productive. So, you can see my shift light wiring right there. But the heater core is back in. We figured out the wiring on the fuel gauge. It did not have 12 volts going to it. And it's weird the way that thing works. It's like it needs 12 volts on one side, and then it has to band it together basically on what it's reading. And it goes across this weird little old 60s space technology. The IAC issue that I talked about earlier, the IAC was literally falling out of the back of the throttle body because solid motor mounts, so it just shook itself apart. Got all the heater hoses back together. It should be good to fire up on this side. The last thing I need to try to work on before we really try to wail on it a little bit is we need to mess with the shifter linkage. So, but before we do all that, we have belts to put it on that side. So we got the exact same belts from this side over there. We just got to get them in. So, okay. So yesterday we got a lot done. The shifter, I think, actually works the way it needs to. I'll do a tech tip on that. But basically what happened was, I'm stupid. When I installed the shifter at like 2 o'clock in the morning, if you guys know the B&M shifters and everything, there's a mount that's on the front of the bracket right here. And to hold the cable in. Well, that cable bracket I had mounted inboard instead of outboard. So you have about that much throw right there. That really messed up a lot of stuff. So now that it's on the outside, it shifts exactly like it's supposed to. Who would have thought? When you put things in properly, they actually work. The fuel gauge now, it still doesn't work the way it should, but it works the way it used to. So now empty is still full and 3/4 is actually empty. So at least I know what that means. And like I said before, the IAC was literally falling out of the back of the throttle body. So yeah, that was fun. And I got passenger side seatbelts in, so now we are actually officially legal for driving on the street with a passenger, which is positive. We were working last night trying to get things fitted in the trunk for drag and drive prep. Same thing goes for that car. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do. In the next video, hopefully that will be a couple days. So, see you then.